Morning everybody. Hope everybody's alright. Well, it's Wednesday, so it's Workshop Wednesday. So what I'm gonna focus on for you today is I'm gonna go around here, show you what I've been messing about, because you saw a bit of few panels sprayed off, and I'm gonna try and explain where I'm going and what I'm up to with. Then I'm gonna give you a bit of a rundown on how you get to that process, and then I'll go into that in a bit more detail with obviously over further videos. And then obviously we're going to go out Anglia. Gas, what is it I've changed? Obviously I've changed manifolds, done it, and I'm going to show you a bit of evidence of what issue was with car, and then we'll take it from there. So, I mean, well, if you want to subscribe to my channel, anybody, please do, because it will be interesting. This, because what I'm going through is something that it don't really exist now. I mean, I know people say it does, but they're not all paint shops. They're not all body shops. You know, they're not generally all car shops. So, I mean, I'm not pulling people to pieces, but some people think they're in that league. But it's done from a different era that I know, I think, even when I watch some of them. You know, I mean, some of them might like mess about with a bit of lead and this, well, good on them, you know, and some lads are pretty good with wheel and bead rollers and that, and good on them. But there's still a bit, they try to bring things a little bit up to date, but this is probably a bit more traditional. So if you don't want to stick around, subscribe to my channel and pass a comment on it, and I will come back to you. So that's a bit of me like just generally going on what's going off with. So I'll tell you what, I'll grab camera, I'm going to take you right here, and we'll go from there. So you saw all Ely panels painted. I mean, obviously, this is bonnet. Obviously, underside's on now. Now, I've painted through to here, and you obviously saw it all masked up or whatever. I think it were in primer. I don't think you're obviously not seeing this. Now, people will be wondering why I've painted to here, and why it all stops and I mean, I've gone down edge at wings. But the reason being, the bonnet's on now, and the bonnet stops on. I ain't going to take the bonnet off, I ain't going to mess about with it. I can shut the bonnet, form each side of these gaps, and I can paint it as a complete car. I mean, same with these areas, they'll be masked off. I can paint this in, but the reason I've stopped here is it's so critical on these bonnets. They have these cowls. Now these cowls, these headlamp cowls, they're, what top and bottom of it is, well, they're never fitted from Jensen, and every time I see them, I'm never 100% happy. So I have done some sort of modifications so that I can get it just so. So what you're seeing now is allowing me to work. I can keep dropping my bonnet. Then what I will do, obviously, all this area will be masked up. I'll paint under engine bay, and that's then finished. And then, as I've just said to you earlier, it'll have a foam all the way around, both sides. That'll be shut, and I'll be able to paint the car in one. I mean, if I carry on going round, I mean, this is obviously another thing that this has brought into play. Is these are the mounts for the screen. Now this is a surround. Now I got the screen out, and client said, "Can you redo the screen?" And so we worked that out. They said the cell seals now. Well, actually, it's bonded in. But this is the same again here. Everything's now painted. So what this will be is a foam here and a foam on edge at door. That'll be shut, and I can just carry on through. But going back to the screen, obviously there's your mounts this side. There's also a stainless plate that fits over here. Obviously your wipers have got to go in. Now then you mount that side. Now the screen, this is the frame and the surround for it. As you can see, there you mount. So, well, I mean, I got this out, and it was a right pig of a job to get out. It was bonded with old stuff in it. Well, if you didn't take your time, you were going to look screen. Well, we didn't want to do that. And this is a stainless steel that goes over the top of it. And this is your stainless steel that I was referring to that closes your screen. Now, all that is obviously, that'll drop onto there. Something like that. So pretty self-explanatory for bottom. Then obviously you've got all this around. Now, this has got to be on the car, sat in position and everything right, because if it isn't, it's in the wrong place. Well, you'll bond that in and it bonds properly, and you are towing here, well, you're going to crack your screen. So that's what's happening there, and that's obviously, so much of it's been in blaster, so much has been cleaned off with grinders, etc. And it's like it's now ready for its prime up, but I ain't done it as yet, so you can see that it's like all back to bare steel, all ready to be worked. So thought I'd just show you that. So as you can see with this door, we don't exactly same carry off, it'll just be foam, round, shut, and then I can just come through painting. Same with boot. Boots now, all done. All inside the boots. Now taken care of, be just exactly the same. It'll have a foam on, both sides will be closed. So it'll be like painting a car in its 70s. It'll be like a mask up, but I'll not be hot potting it. Obviously, it's a 2K. There'll be, what is it, about 4 litres of paint will go on the car. Obviously, as you can see here, the sills are painted, and that reason being is I'm not right down on the floor when I'm painting it, but I'm coming through. But this car will have I'd say about 4 litres of paint, probably a bit more, 4.5. And then probably including engine bay. Let's put another light and get a better look this side. So they're all done. It's all neatly underneath. Plus it's easier to mask off. And I've just a few double checks on all my gaps. I'm happy with everything. And away we go. But, I mean, I'm showing you around this because, well, it's probably not the way anybody else would do it. They'd have panels off, but as I've said before, red's an absolute pain. Well, I don't want it to be a pain. I want it to be a straightforward carry-off. And I want it to just look the part. And I don't want to sit there mopping forever when I know I can put paint on and get the effect I want. But I've also got some gear art here on my bench. And the reason I've got this art is obviously because to get that, it's involved all this. And all this will be done in this workshop series. I mean, so we'll just have a quick brief rundown through this, but this is where it'll all be leading to, and this is what it'll be saying to you. Right, paint stripper. I know some of you, what's he on about? You know, I mean, sometimes you can have some stuff blasted, but you can't always have everything blasted. Well, it's important. Stripping discs. Quite expensive, work effective, very messy. Make sure you're masked up. Wire wheel, various stuff. I have these one, I have cup ones. Needle gun, right important for the corners, cleaning out. A small, practically, I mean, it's just a die grinder really, but what I do, I put a regulator on it so I can put a wire brush at the end and I can regulate speed, because if you don't have a regulator on it, it just comes through on mains pressure, well, you've no chance. Cutting discs, obviously, when we get to fabrication. Air hacksaw. Joggler and punch. Then obviously that'll be all incorporated in a bit of fabrication work, you'll see. But this has had plenty of fabrication work, believe me. Sanding disc. I like sanding discs because they're quick, they're efficient. A lot of people don't like them, they use grinding disc. Well, a grinding disc removes too much material. Last thing you want. You don't want that. Die grinder. Another die grinder, 240. If you're going to have one of them, for God's sake, make sure you watch what you're doing, because I don't class them as like safest tool on planet. And, well, to be quite honest with you, I'd steer away from one unless you're really experienced. Air file. Absolutely fantastic tool. Get 3M belts. You can buy cheap belts, but trust me, 3M, they'll outlive them by a mile. They're more expensive, but they're more economical, definitely. Air sanders. We've got various things. This one tends to look quick nipping down. That's a clean up and that's like a polish. Then we come through to air sander. All these things, like I say, have been used on this. You're going to see all these in operation. That's got an hard disc on there. There's a soft pad there. Depends what you're sanding. Get your way. All these blocks, and these all attached to extraction, which you'll see. I'll show you basic things, what you can do by hand, and you'll be amazed just how quick it is, and how more of a professional job you get, even down to bigger, even down to some unusual shapes. These are American, actually. These are good blocks, but I tow a bit with them now because they haven't got extraction with me breathing and that. And then obviously, micromesh, what is it? Sanding pads for them all. I always use them. Better extraction, you know. So, that's going on, all that. That'll be coming up on other series. There's obviously extractions here. I think you've all seen me extraction before, you know. I mean, these are Arabite Arbanet, well, as I call them, micromesh, but they're I think that they brand them as Arbanet. The three of them. I buy them off a guy, a local supplier. He's not far from me, and I'm sure he's supplying here if you're interested in it. I'll give him a bit of a... I'll tell you where you're going with him anyway, but I'm going to review some of these products, as I've said, because how we've got this into this state has involved all this. So we're going to go through all that, because that's part of the workshop, and that's part of stuff you might be interested in learning some of you. You know, I mean, I know, like I said earlier, things have changed, but some people might have an interest in it. I don't know how many cars are going to be done to this level. You know, I mean, it could be just a... You know, there might not be many more done, but you might have got something in garage and you might have an eternity of time left and to want to mess about with them. Well, I'm telling you, when they're done, there's no fine. You can just sit there and look at them. I mean, I don't drink, but some people will sit, fuel cans, puff on a fag if they want. I mean, they don't really allow us to do things like that now, but... And just admire end result of them, because it's well worth the work if people want to go to this level, but it's a costly way. But when I go through all this detail, you'll see. Right, let's go over to Anglia. As you were aware, we had the cracked manifold, so anyhow, we got another off me, mate. So it was slightly different. It had actually a sealed casting here, as opposed to having the cap, which probably might have been a little bit better idea. I mean, probably Ford did that to probably just improve a little bit of induction, probably make things a little bit easier. But now we're back together, and put my eyes on. And as you can see, obviously carburetor's on now, but we seem to go an issue here. This seems to be on angle. I don't think that will like that. I'm looking at that here, bit of welding. I don't know, something slightly adrift, but we'll get some books out, see what we've got to find out, and see if we've got to tweak it a bit to get dipstick in. But new exhaust manifold, and also I put a new what is it, gasket on inlet, like, and all freed up. Everything will be serviceable now. New studs into carburetor, new body on carburetor because there's a leak here. So everything, with a bit of luck, should do exactly as it is. But these are the problems that I've told you that you will experience. And then this is actually some evidence of the fire that had been under the bonnet, because obviously I've got this side done so I don't contaminate, and then I can get these side cleaned down and primed up, so that sorts that. I mean, when you've got a panel like this, you really have to finish one side before you go on to other, otherwise you just be cross-contaminating all the time. When you come to put paint on, you'll be in trouble. Anyhow, I've probably gone along a little bit more than I ought to have, but it is where we're going. And as I've said, we're going through all this because that makes this. And we're doing, well, it's Workshop Wednesday. Well, this is quality of work I do in my workshop. So if you want to stick around to see and likes of this, you're going to see it all. And plus, this will incorporate a lot of reviews of all this stuff. And I'll tell you what I think, and I'll tell you honestly what I think. And that's simple as it is. Plus, we've got a new paint system coming on because I'm doing this series, and so that we're going to incorporate that, and we'll fetch that off from the start. I've not so much had a fallout with one of my suppliers, but it's just, I don't know, probably because I'm not a massive volume user. I don't think Rep thinks I'm worth bothering with, but that's my opinion, but that's how I see it. So anyhow, give me a like if you like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this. A bit old school place, and pass a comment regarding out, and let's see how we go. I hope you enjoy this video anyway. So something to kick us off with. Catch you all later, and bye for now.